Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday night, time for another Facebook Live. Tonight we're going to have fun with DSP strips. I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to get signed on to watch. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to go ahead and, hey, Nancy, welcome. Get this shared over to the group in case somebody is looking for us there. So let me do that real quick. You have seen this DSP before because it is my favorite Christmas DSP. All right. Always takes it a minute for it to show up over on my laptop. I hope everybody is having a good week. Hey, Carol. Welcome. I'm just getting it shared over to the group in case anybody's looking there for it, if my laptop will cooperate. If it doesn't, it'll get shared later. I hope y'all are having a good week. We are hump day. We made it through hump day, so just a couple days left. There it is. I can share it. Let's see. It seems like they change Facebook every time. There, share to a group. And it's different on the laptop. Hey, Betty, welcome. Than it is on my phone. All right, we have got it shared. So this is the card we're going to make tonight. And it looks really complicated, but it is not at all. It is so easy. And it is a great way to use up designer series paper scraps. So these are 1-inch scrap strips. And if you make 2 card fronts with your designer series paper, they're 5.5. If you made full card fronts, they're 5.5 each. That would leave you an inch strip on the edge. So this is a great thing to do with them. So let's get started. So I have, and I will put all the measurements over on my blog when I'm done here. So this is a piece of Mossy Meadow that is 5 1/4 by 4, and then just your regular card base that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And you want to be sure that these are the same color, because what you want this to look like is just, you can see the color in between the strips, so you want it to be the same. It just looks like they're on the top of that base. So you've got your piece like this, and I started with 8 strips. Now you'll have some left over that you can use. They don't all have to be 6 inches, but you do have to have a couple that are 6 inches because you're going to start out with these diagonal ones like this. I'm going to put that down a little bit. Now, normally you would put your adhesive on the strip and adhere it. But for this card, it is easier to put your adhesive on the card base. So I'm just going to run some adhesive all the way down there and lay this on there. And I want to make sure it goes over the edge. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Lay the adhesive all the way down. And lay that over, and you're going to leave a little bit of a gap in the middle. And then I'm just going to start looking to see what I want. I'll put one like that. Let's do this one. So you're just kind of laying them out, see how you want them to go. Maybe this one. And so again, I'm going to pick up this middle one. I'm going to put my adhesive here. And this is, you're going to leave a little gap here, and then it's just going to go straight off of there. That might be just a little bit crooked. There we go. And then the same thing here. For this one. And we'll take care of this corner in a minute. We're going to wait on it. sure I got some good adhesive there. And now at this point, I like to trim these off because I might want to use the other side of some of these for down here. So all you do is you turn it over, and I'm using non-Stampin' Up! Scissors because these are my sticky scissors. These are the ones I use if I've got, let me make sure you can see what I'm doing. So you're just going to turn it over and just cut these all off right along your card base. The corner you just kind of cut up, and then you can cut across. But see, now I have all these pieces that I can use too, and even these little ones like this, we can use. I mean, you can really use up some great scraps. All right, so let's get this out of the way. All right, so now we have this. Now we're gonna do the same thing over here. So we haven't used this one, so let's put it over here. And we haven't used this one. So we'll put it over here, and we haven't used this one. And so now I can take these other ones that I had, you know, whatever ones, and I can just start laying them in here. Let's do, and I have some left over from another time too. Let's do this one. Okay. And I could use, although I wouldn't want to necessarily, not right next to that, but you could use just your little pieces like that too. Okay. Hopefully I'm staying up high enough. I always forget this. I have to do this so high. All right, so I'm going to pick up this middle one again and put my adhesive right there and lay it down so that it's straight against that. Let me slide this up just a little bit now that I have my first one on, so you can see. I think I've got this arm out about as far as it'll go, yeah. Okay, now let's take, make sure that looks straight. Our next one, put our adhesive down, lay it down. And this one, oops. I'm about out of, I'm hoping it won't go out, run out while I'm filming. It's getting low. And this strip. And then I actually, when I got down to this, I used my liquid glue when I have a little space like this. So we'll put this one here, whoops, and we'll put, oops, this one here. Trying to make sure that's straight. And then we need to put a little something in that corner. So what should we do? Let's see. I might even have a little, nope, not that one. This one's already been cut, so it's not, it needs to be, nope, can't have that one. Nope, I don't want that one either. No, we can do that. Now, if it's really small like that, what you can do, oh look, we have these little pieces. We can use a little piece like that. Let me see what's on the other side of that one. Same thing. So what you can do if it's really small like that is take a glue dot. And so I'm just going to put a glue dot in that little spot. And if it's too big, you can fold it up a little bit and put my little piece down on that so we know it will get held. All right, so now let's turn it over. and trim these. And at the end, I'm going to show you a card that I made. It was something that Kay gave us the strips to make with some brand new DSP that will be coming in the January to June mini catalog. All right, so those are all good strips I can use for another card. And it doesn't really matter which way it goes. All right, let me clean some of these little pieces off of our area here. Get them out of the way. And then the stamp set that I used for this is the Christmas Means More. And it's just got some great sentiments. I'm going to set that aside for a minute. And so I just have a strip of Whisper White. And this is photopolymer. So I am using my foam mat just to be sure it has a nice image. And I'm using Real Red. That's one of the colors in this designer series paper. Mossy Meadow is one of them also. That's why we used that for our base. And I'm using the stamp that says, I believe. It's silly, but I believe, which is cute, I think. So I'm just going to stamp this towards the end. Excuse me. Whoops, I should have left that out. We'll get that in a minute. And then we're going to punch it out with this punch, which I really need to start labeling all my punches because I can never remember the names. And this will just fit in here. Let me get that down just a little bit. There we go. And then because this is such a dark card base, that's going to be really hard to write in. I mean, if you had a white pen, you could, but that will be hard. So I cut a piece of Whisper White that's 5 1/4 by 4, and I decided, well, I needed to have something. Now the set, the sentiment set doesn't have anything that I would consider like an inside. They're meant to be the bold sentiments for the outside, but it has a couple of little images. So I decided we could just put a couple of little bells on the inside, just because it needed to have something. There we go. All right, we're almost done. Get this out of the way. And this. All right, so we are ready now. I've got some of this sheer, this real red sheer ribbon, which I love. It's probably my favorite ribbon out of the holiday catalog. It's really easy to tie, and it's so pretty. So we're just going to tie a little square knot. Whoops. And then we will slide it over a little bit and trim those ends. They don't want to lay flat this time, do they? There we go. And then don't forget, everyone that comments on this card will be in the drawing to win the card. All right, so now we can put this on our card base. If our adhesive will last just a little bit longer. Oh, keep getting it. It's getting to the end. So that's going to go on our card base. And then we'll put our, I can get it stuck on something, inside. Oh, I've got little glue things everywhere. We'll put our inside in there. That just goes right in here. And then the last thing is to put our sentiment on. And we'll put it on with dimensionals. They'll kind of go over that ribbon. There we go. Now we'll go right there, and there you go. And see how different they look? I mean, just different papers makes them look differently. Anyway, you can be in the drawing to win this card. Everybody that comments, I will draw Sunday night. And then I wanted to show you a few others. So we made this card in Kay's technique class. This is using the poinsettia. Thank you, Nancy. The poinsettia petals paper, which is beautiful. And then we used that stamp set to stamp some little berries and the sentiment and that same sheer ribbon, which is just gorgeous. But this is the same idea. Now, she did her piece. This is 3 3/4 by 5, so you can do it either way. It works either way. And then I thought I would show you something new. So the January to June mini catalog will be coming out in January. I think it's like the 4th. Thank you, Betty. This is using some of the new designer series paper. It goes with a dragonfly garden stamp set. And so this is some of the designer series paper. We did the same thing here. And then just because I wanted you to see what the stamp set was like, I thought I would show you a couple others. This is the swap I made with the dragonfly garden stamp set. We had a bunch of us that swapped with it, and this was my swap. And it's this ribbon or whatever you call it, braided trim, I guess, comes in with it too. And then there's a punch that punches out the dragonfly. It punches out a big one and a little one. And then at Onstage at Home. So Onstage is a convention that we usually go to. It was supposed to be in Salt Lake City a couple weeks ago, but because of COVID, we couldn't go, so they did it on home. So we were able to do it, just watch together from our homes. But they gave us the opportunity to purchase this paper, the bundle, the stamp set, the punch beforehand, so we could make these during Onstage at Home. So this is one of the cards we made. So we stamped the dragonfly, and then we stamped it and punched it out. And then I don't know if you can see, there's little ladybugs. So those are some little charms that you can get too that go with it. All right, so I had to show you just a little sneak peek. But this is really a fun way to use up scraps. So if you've got some 1-inch scraps laying around, this is a great thing to do with it. Get rid of some of that designer series paper that we're all hoarding, because I know I do. All right, ladies, I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you. I don't know if I'll be here next Wednesday or not. If I'm not live, I'll try and have something videoed for you, so at least you have something to look at. All right. Good night.